A very warm welcome to you. It's a pleasure to have you join us again on Almond Finance and Wealth Reports this week. As you know, we are source for latest happening information in the financial sector of the nation's economy. My name is Faith Wadi. On this edition of the program, the Nigerian British Chamber of Commerce is the foremost bilateral chamber of commerce in Nigeria. I'll be speaking exclusively with the president of the NBCC, Prince Adeyemi Adefulu, MFR. On Insurance 101 this week, have you ever traveled and you get to your destination and you find out that your luggage did not arrive with you? Not a very pleasant situation, I must say. On Insurance 101 this week, we'll bring you a report on passenger baggage claim. This report will give you an insight into what to do when you find yourself in that not too very pleasant situation. Plus, we'll also bring you highlights of the 2014 Risk Managers Week of the Assurance Science and Insurance Students Association, ASISA, of University of Lagos. These are more what we have for you on the lineup this week, so I urge you as always to sit back, relax, and spend this time with us. But all the details are coming to you after this break. Please stay with us.
Are you satisfied with your insurance policy? Do you have issues with your claims payment? Do you want a better service delivery from the insurance industry?
If yes, join other policyholders chat one-on-one in a no-hold-barred session with underwriters, insurance brokers, and insurance regulators on Wednesday, October 29th at the Rapid Hall Lagoon Restaurant, Ozumba, Mbadiwe Street, Victoria Island, Lagos, of the 2014 Insurance Consumers Forum. Under the chairmanship of Mr. Sani Adida, past president, Chartered Insurance Institute of Nigeria, CIIN.
This event is supported by the National Insurance Commission, NICOM, Nigerian Insurance Association, NIA, Chartered Insurance Institute of Nigeria, CIIN, and the Nigerian Council of Registered Insurance Brokers, NCRIB.
Sponsors are NEM Insurance PLC, Standard Alliance Life Limited. For inquiries, call the following numbers: 01-776-3981, 0803-335-7879, or visit almondreports.com. See you there. This event is powered by Almond Productions Limited.
All right, welcome back. On the site of Almond today, our focus will be on the Nigerian British Chamber of Commerce, and to do justice to all the issues or all the questions we need to ask is the president of the NBCC, Prince Adeyemi Adefulu, MFR, who is the president, Nigerian British Chamber of Commerce. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us on the program.
A great pleasure.
Thank you. Okay, I'm going to start right off by asking the Nigerian British Chamber of Commerce is the foremost bilateral chamber of commerce in Nigeria. When and why was it set up initially?
It was set up in 1977 by some top Nigerian businessmen and British businessmen as well, as a focal point for business, between the two countries. Government has to do its own part, but business people who are practitioners, from day to day also have to do theirs. So they thought the businessmen from the two ends, I remember the managing director of the British Caledonian at the time, and Chief Henry Fajemerokun were the ones who first thought about it, and brought a number of other people on board, and so the idea was born. Nigerian British Chamber of Commerce came into being. The likes of the late Chief Adeyemi Lawson, Mr. Oluda Oshonuga, a number of other top guns in the Nigerian business sector came together and decided to form that chamber.
Okay, how easy has it been for your members so far to set up business and in the UK, for example?
Well, it's never easy. Whatever you want to do, it's if you want to pursue the easy line, it just doesn't happen. So it's a matter of being consistent. It's a matter of being focused on what you want to do. We advocate, between the two countries, between the two governments, the Nigerian government, the British government, on the kind of policies that they bring about, and asking for an enabling environment which will aid business between Nigeria and Britain. And it's a lot of advocacy. It's a lot of relationship management between the respective countries. And I should say that just when the Nigerian chapter was set up, a UK chapter was also set up. So we always had businessmen collaborating at both ends. And annually we always got together as to discuss business between the two countries, how it is going. There have been very difficult times brought about by a lot of policy somersaults between the two countries. There was the indigenization in Nigeria, which led to the flight of capital and flight of a lot of British business people to go in search of their own pursuits elsewhere. And there were the policies in the Thatcherite years, which are not very favorable to business people and students from Nigeria and other Commonwealth countries. So all these ones did have some adverse effect on relationships and did not really.
But sorry to come in, how was some of these policies somersaults? How was the NBCC able to manage their relationship?
Well, again, talking to business people and insisting, criticizing government whenever we needed to, and collaborating with them and seeking to convince them where they were wrong. So many years after indigenization, you remember that Nigerian government had to do a 360 degrees and now allowed, but so much damage had been done meanwhile. I mean, it's a good thing to say Nigerians must be involved in doing business in the country, but the way it was brought about and the way it was executed led to the flight of capital and led to the flight of management. So many companies died, and so many companies that were bought by people who had no skill whatsoever, they couldn't survive. There's a particular group, I will not mention names, which bought about 35 companies, and all those companies are dead today. Those who have been major, a good number of them who have been successful and who have been major companies in the economy today. So mistakes were made, here and there. Our duty all the time was to keep on looking at those policies, making our views known on a consistent, basis until we were heard. And many a time we were heard.
Okay, I still want to take you up a little bit on the indigenization policy. Would you say that a lot of people have had cause to speak to some people and they were like, it would have been a good policy, but maybe the timing was wrong? Do you also share that
policy must take into consideration the timing. If a policy comes in the wrong time, then it is wrong, because the timing must be right, and the content of the policy itself must also be right to benefit the system. And at the time that it came on board, it did not. Many banks ended up in the hands of government, and so you had managing directors of banks being posted from ministries. And of course, what did you get in the end? Many of those banks died, and so much opportunity had been lost. So much money had been lost in the process. If they had been left on their own through market forces, a good number of them would surely have succeeded. So the timing must be right. The content of the policy must also be right.
Okay, now let's move on and talk about the membership of the NBCC. What's the size of your membership?
We have over 400 members. Most of them are corporates of different sizes, from small scale to large scale. Of course, it is not everybody that is active, because in a membership organization, it is a function of what value members think they are getting. If they don't think they are getting, the value, when the bill comes for them to pay to renew their subscription, because companies are always working under pressure. There are competing demands, all the time. So you want to put your money where you think you're going to get, the best value. And so that's, as a matter of responsibility to ourselves, we've got to remain relevant to their businesses. We are an avenue for networking. We must be an avenue for helping them to grow their businesses, to grow their network. And that is brought about by the kind of events that we stage, the kind of visitors that we bring into the chamber, either from abroad or locally, and generally the kind of events that we put up from time to time, so as to bring benefit to to members. And that's what we have been working on, to keep on improving on the value that we bring to members, businesses.
Okay, now for membership, what's really, if my organization, for example, decides to be a member of MBCC?
You are not a member, and you should be.
What are the criteria that you usually?
Oh, usually we screen members,
Okay.
to be sure of the quality of membership. We look for companies that are upwardly mobile, that are forward-looking, that are looking for growth, that are even looking beyond the shores of this country. And NBCC is not only about a relationship between Nigeria and Britain, because now we are part of the global British business, which has affiliates in Japan, in Singapore, in Mexico, in Brazil, in other places, as well. There's a global British business network, and we are part of that network, which means that if a member has some inquiries to make, even in Singapore or in such places, in Poland, or in Spain or in France, they can still come through us, and we can use our network to help them. It's about assisting businesses to grow. It's about assisting them to know what is happening in other places, what are the opportunities, and how they can key into such opportunities.
Passenger baggage claims. Passenger baggage is divided into two separate categories. A. Checked registered baggage. B. Unchecked unregistered baggage. Checked baggage is handed over to the carrier, weighted, and a receipt is issued, luggage tag. Unchecked hand luggage is retained by the passenger and taken into the aircraft, maximum 10 kg, and consists of small items, briefcases, handbags, coats, etc. Under aviation insurance, the Warsaw Convention holds the carrier liable for loss or damage to baggage, including damage occasioned by the delay of checked baggage, unless the carrier is able to prove that 1. He took all necessary steps to avoid the loss. 2. That there was contributory negligence on the part of the passenger. 3. That the loss or damage was caused by the negligence of the air crew. The NCAA Act prescribes for loss of baggage claim at $20 per kilo. The total weight multiplied by $20 gives the maximum liability. For unchecked luggage, it is limited to 10 kg maximum liability. Usually, items of value such as cameras, telecoms equipment, etc. are valued separately, and an all-risk insurance is taken to cover loss or damages. All checked-in luggage must be weighted. When insurers deal directly with claimants, the first task is to establish the main cause of the claim, which may be due to 1. Mishandling, 2. Pilferage, or delivery to wrong destination. Claims for temporary loss of baggage necessitating purchase of essential clothes or toiletries for use until the misplaced baggage is recovered are usually accepted by insurers. The carrier has unlimited liability if it is established that the carrier failed to issue a proper completed baggage check or there has been willful misconduct on the part of the carrier or his employees.
All right, welcome back. Moving on, we bring you highlights of the 2014 Risk Managers Week of the Actuarial Science and Insurance Students Association, ASISA of University of Lagos, that took place recently in UNILAG. The theme of the Risk Managers Seminar was exploring the roles of risk managers in the 21st century. The guest speaker was a Group Managing Director of Custodian and Allied Insurance PLC, Mr. Wole Oshin. Speaking during his presentation, Mr. Oshin admonished the students on the need to stay focused on the path of insurance as the future of the industry is very bright.
The Actuarial Science and Insurance Students Association, ASISA, of the University of Lagos recently put together their Risk Managers Week. The Risk Managers Week kicked off with the Risk Manager Seminar at the Julius Berger Hall. The theme of the seminar this year was exploring the roles of risk managers in the 21st century. The guest speaker was Mr. Wole Oshin, Managing Director, Custodian and Allied Insurance PLC. In attendance also were Kola Ahmed, Director General CIIN, Mr. Emmanuel Elioramo, Managing Director, Nigerian Life and Provident, Professor Rashid Ojikutu, Dean, Faculty of Business Administration, and a host of others. Delivering the theme paper, Mr. Oshin admonished the students to study and take up insurance as a career path when they graduate, as the future of the insurance industry is bright.
There is a future in insurance. It's not only in the banking sector, neither is it only in the oil and gas sector or the telecom sector that you find success. With commitment and dedication, the insurance industry, as a matter of fact, is where to be today. And that is what I said to Tope and Co. I know that there's a topic around risk management, but I said, look, I'll just encourage you guys for the odd 10-15 minutes, so that you understand that going into the profession of insurance, there is actually a huge opportunity for you in the marketplace. And I'll just say a few things. The insurance in Nigeria is less than 1%. In other words, we haven't tapped up to 1% of the population of Nigeria where insurance is concerned. I'll say some hard facts and I'll tell you the benefits thereafter. And I'll be very brief. In Kenya, the penetration is 4%. In South Africa, the penetration is about 15% thereabouts. Now, we just rebased our GDP, like you all know. The GDP has been rebased to about $500 billion thereabouts. So what has happened to insurance? When you look at the contribution of insurance to the gross domestic product of Nigeria, it has further shrunk. It all sounds like bad news, okay? But the reality is that I want you to look at it from a positive side. If the penetration of insurance is barely 1% today, the implication of that is that if you compare us to maybe a South African percentage, for instance, we have a potential upside of about 14% growth penetration. So the truth is, insurance has not started.
The role of risk managers today permeates every facet of human endeavors. Insurers are traditionally risk managers. They are in business to ensure that other businesses survive any major setback. The annual Risk Managers Week remains a platform for students of the Department of Actuarial Science and Insurance of UNILAG to learn from insurance professionals who have passed through the department and the University of Lagos. The Risk Managers Week ended with an awareness walk. The walk kicked off from the Faculty of Business Administration and ended at the Yaba Market, where the students took time to explain the benefits of insurance to the traders. It is no longer news that insurance awareness and penetration is still very low. However, stakeholders are now determined more than ever before to increase awareness by constantly giving moral and financial support to the upcoming professionals who are the future of the insurance industry.
Are you satisfied with your insurance policy? Do you have issues with your claims payment? Do you want a better service delivery from the insurance industry?
If yes, join other policyholders chat one-on-one in a no-hold-barred session with underwriters, insurance brokers and insurance regulators on Wednesday, October 29th at the Rapid Hall Lagoon Restaurant, Ozumba, Mbadiwe Street, Victoria Island, Lagos for the 2014 Insurance Consumers Forum. Under the chairmanship of Mr. Sunny Adida, past president, Chartered Insurance Institute of Nigeria, CIIN.
This event is supported by the National Insurance Commission, NICOM, Nigerian Insurance Association, NIA, Chartered Insurance Institute of Nigeria, CIIN, and the Nigerian Council of Registered Insurance Brokers, NCRIB.
Sponsors are NEM Insurance PLC, Standard Alliance Life Limited. For inquiries, call the following numbers: 01-776-3981, 0803-335-7879, or visit almondreports.com. See you there. This event is powered by Almond Productions Limited.
All right, that's the time on this edition of the program. I do hope you thoroughly enjoyed it. Like I always say here, for comments, questions, observations, do feel free to get in touch with us on 01-776-3981 or 080-333-57879, or better still, send us an email, almond4xx@yahoo.com or almondproduction@gmail.com. You can also visit us on our website, www.almondreports.com. Like us on our Facebook page, Almond Finance and Wealth Reports, and view past episodes of this program on our YouTube channel, Almond Reports TV. Join us every Wednesday by 9:45 a.m. live on Niger FM 102.7 if you can, for our Pidgin English program called Waiting Insurance They Do Serve. Let me also remind you of the 2014 Insurance Consumers Forum coming up on the 29th of October in the Rapid Hall Lagoon Restaurant, Victoria Island here in Lagos. We'll be commencing at 10 a.m. My name is Faith Uwade. Until same time, same station next week, where we'll come your way with a fresh package of this program from all of us here. It's goodbye.